Locomotion and movement, important chapter in 11th CBSE biology. In this video, very quickly we are going to revise the important points from this chapter for the NEET exam. In human, the cells shows three types of movement: amoeboid, ciliary, muscular. In blood, macrophages and leukocytes show amoeboid movement. And muscles originate from mesoderm. And muscles forms around 40 to 50% of our body weight. And based on location, we have three types of muscle: skeletal muscle, visceral muscle or smooth muscle. Third one is cardiac muscle. So three types of muscles we have based on the location. So in that, skeletal muscle is striated and voluntary. Smooth muscle or visceral muscles, they are non-striated and involuntary. Cardiac muscle, they are striated and involuntary. Very important points. Now skeletal muscle made up of number of muscle bundle or fascicles. Skeletal muscle is made up of number of muscle bundle, also called as fascicles, and these muscle bundle are held together by a collagenous connective tissue called fascia. Muscle bundle, also called as fascicles, they are held together by a collagenous connective tissue called fascia. And remember children, the sarcolemma is the plasma membrane of muscle fiber. And sarcoplasmic reticulum is the endoplasmic reticulum of muscle fiber. And it stores calcium ion. And remember, the functional unit of contraction is sarcomere. Sarcomere is the functional unit of contraction. And in the sarcomere, you can find I band and A band. I band forms light band, A band forms dark band. Remember. Now, to explain the mechanism of muscle contraction, the best theory is sliding filament theory. To explain the mechanism of muscle contraction, sliding filament theory. And very important point, myoglobin is one red colored pigment in the muscle that stores oxygen. So red colored oxygen storing pigment in muscle is called as myoglobin. Remember, here you can see the diagrammatic representation of functional unit of contraction called sarcomere. Between, see, this is zigzag part is there. So between two Z line, the zigzag part is called as Z line. Between the two Z line, you can find sarcomere. Between the two Z lines, you can find one sarcomere, one functional unit of contraction. And here remember, this black color one is actin. This is actin, and this is myosin. Two proteins of muscle. This is actin, and in between here these are myosin, actin and myosin. And here different regions you can find. H zone you can find only myosin. You can find only myosin. And remember in I band you can find only actin. In A band you can find actin and some part myosin and some part of actin you can find. Then when you come to the skeletal system, we have total 206 bones. In that 80 comes under axial bones and 126 comes under appendicular bone. In our skull total 22 bones. 8 forms cranial bones, 14 forms facial bones. When it comes to ribs, true ribs are the first 7. True ribs are the first 7 ribs are called as true ribs. False ribs, 8th, 9th and 10th ribs are false ribs. Floating ribs are 11th and 12th are the floating ribs. Very important. Now remember, Coxal bone. Coxal bone is formed by the fusion of three bones. They are ilium, ischium and pubis. Ilium, ischium, pubis, these three bones fuse to form coxal bones. And very, very important, remember, fibrous joint, there will be no movement. Cartilaginous joint, limited movement. Synovial joint, there is a good movement you can find. Three types of joints: fibrous, where you find no movement; cartilaginous joint, limited movement; synovial joint, you can find little bit free movement. Now synovial joints types: between humerus and pectoral girdle. Between humerus and pectoral girdle, you can find ball and socket synovial joint. Between knee joints, you can find hinge joint. Between atlas and axis, pivot joint. Between carpals, gliding joints. Between carpal and metacarpals, saddle joints you can find.